Dexter Morgan killed over 100 people, and almost nobody noticed. But was he actually the show's smartest character? Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. Today, we're ranking the 4 smartest characters from the original Dexter series. We're not just talking book smarts, we're talking planning, execution, adaptability, and the ability to stay 10 steps ahead. One person comes out on top, and honestly, who it is might actually surprise you. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to support my tiny channel. Now, let's get into it. Quick note before we start, yes, Dexter is on this list. I know some people think he's the obvious answer, and we'll get to him, but spoiler, he's not number 1, just stay with me. Also, I will be issuing a full spoiler warning for the entire Dexter original series. Number 4, Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer.
Hello, Dexter Morgan.
Now Trinity gets a lot of grief, and some of it is deserved. His kills were ritualistic and sloppy by modern forensic standards. He left biological evidence at crime scenes. He even nearly blew everything at a police checkpoint with Dexter sitting right next to him in a car. But here's the thing people keep forgetting. Trinity killed for 30 whole years. He built an entirely separate life. Respected family man, church volunteer, community figure. He moved cities after every kill cycle so law enforcement couldn't connect the dots across jurisdictions. He wasn't just a killer, he was an architect of deception, and that architecture held for 3 decades. And what finally caught him? Not forensics, not a brilliant detective piecing together the evidence, but Dexter Morgan personally hunting him down. Something essentially no serial killer in history has ever had to deal with. Trinity's flaw wasn't his intelligence, it was his psychology. He was unstable, driven by compulsion rather than cold calculation. Smart enough to survive 30 years, but not disciplined enough to know when to stop. Number 3, Brian Moser. Hear me out. Brian's plan in Season 1 is genuinely brilliant. He built a completely fabricated identity from scratch. Rudy Cooper, respected prosthetic surgeon. He used that position to access victims and insert himself directly into the investigation. He manipulated Deborah Morgan, an actual trained detective, into a serious relationship without ever raising a single red flag. His kills were theatrical on purpose. He wasn't being reckless, he was performing for Dexter, setting a stage and sending a message. And for years, Miami Metro had absolutely nothing on him. But here's the part that really gets me. The writers literally had to make Brian randomly attack Batista, completely out of character, just to give investigators a lead. The show had to break its own logic to catch him. So why is he number 3 and not higher? 2 reasons. 1, his blind spot was massive. He fundamentally miscalculated Dexter. He spent years studying his brother and still couldn't accept that Dexter would never choose him over Deb. That's not a small error, that's the error that got him killed. 2, Brian's intelligence lived almost entirely in the planning phase. When things went sideways, he adapted poorly. He let emotion take over. He wanted their reunion more than he wanted survival, and that's what Dexter exploited. Brilliant architect, but a terrible adapter. Number 2, Dexter Morgan, the man himself. And look, Dexter is extraordinary. Let's be clear about that. He's a forensic blood spatter analyst, which means he understands crime scenes at a level that lets him commit crimes invisibly. He's also operating in the same building as the people hunting him, every single day. His real superpower isn't his IQ, it's adaptability. He gets caught in impossible situations, constantly, and always finds a way out. Whether that's planting evidence, falsifying results, or improvising a kill when everything falls apart around him. But Dexter does make a lot of mistakes. He let Trinity live way too long because of personal obsession. He trusted Miguel Prado. He let Dokes corner him repeatedly. He left evidence trails that should have ended him a dozen times over. A lot of Dexter's survival comes down to one uncomfortable truth: luck. Dokes gets blown up right before he can expose everything. LaGuerta gets killed right as she's closing in. Lundy gets shot before he can connect the dots. Dexter is a genius who relies heavily on the incompetence of others, and that's what keeps him out of the top spot.
Any idea who the FBI is sending?
Some guy named Lundy.
Frank Lundy? He's a rock star. The Green River Killer, the DC sniper. If the case was impossible, he broke it.
Number 1, Frank Lundy. Let me tell you exactly why I honestly believe that Lundy wins this. When Lundy arrives to investigate the Bay Harbor butcher, he does something nobody else on the show ever manages. He sees through the noise. He looks at the Bay Harbor butcher's apparent manifesto, the political messaging, the religious undertones, and instead of taking it at face value, he recognizes it as deliberate misdirection. He concludes that the killer is using chaos to confuse law enforcement. And from that single insight, he deduces that the Bay Harbor butcher must have an intimate understanding of how police investigations work from the inside. He is essentially building an accurate profile of Dexter from a pile of staged crime scenes, without knowing Dexter even exists. That is extraordinary. Then in Season 4, working alone, without institutional support, without even a single person believing him, he pieces together the Trinity Killer. A killer who had been active for 30 years without anyone even identifying him as one person. Lundy sees the pattern that everyone else missed. He connects cases across decades and jurisdictions on sheer methodical brilliance. The only reason Dexter survives Lundy is because Lundy gets shot before he can figure out who he is. Not because Dexter outsmarts him, but because Dexter gets lucky. Again. Frank Lundy is the smartest character in Dexter, the most methodical, the most dangerous, and the most underrated. So there it is. If you've got beef with this ranking, and I know some of you do, drop it in the comments. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.